Quiet happiness begins when the fight ends. Most people believe happiness arrives after victory, after healing, after becoming better. But quiet happiness begins much earlier, at the exact moment when the inner fight finally stops. For years, the soul struggles to fix itself. It tries to overcome pain, outrun fear, and correct every flaw. Yet this constant effort often keeps the nervous system in a state of tension, where peace feels unfamiliar, even unsafe. The soul learns something unexpected after the struggle. Peace does not come from winning. It comes from standing down. When the fight ends, the body softens before the mind understands why. Breath deepens, muscles release, thoughts slow. This is not giving up on life. It is giving up on violence toward oneself. If this quiet moment feels strange to you, you are not broken. You are simply standing at the doorway of a different kind of happiness. Later in this video, I'll share why this calm can feel unsettling at first, and why it's actually a sign of deep inner change. If you feel drawn to this state, but don't know how to stay there, I've placed a gentle, Jungian-inspired practice for quiet happiness in the description and pinned comment. Small steps, profound changes. Why peace feels empty before it feels safe. When the struggle ends, many people don't feel joy. They feel emptiness, and that emptiness can be frightening. The soul learns that peace initially removes noise, not pain. Without constant striving, old emotions surface. Unprocessed memories rise. Silence becomes loud. This is why so many people return to stress, drama, or busyness, not because they love suffering, but because emptiness feels unsafe. The nervous system was trained to survive chaos. Calm feels unfamiliar. Stillness feels exposed. Yet this phase is not failure. It is transition. Peace is not empty. It is unoccupied. And whatever appears in that space was already there, simply buried under movement. If you stay present instead of escaping, something subtle happens. The emptiness slowly transforms into safety. Not excitement, not euphoria, but steadiness. This is one of the most important lessons the soul learns after struggle. Healing often feels worse before it feels better. Near the end of this video, I'll explain how this emptiness becomes the foundation for lasting happiness. Not the flashy kind, but the kind that stays. If you want support during this phase, you'll find a grounding Jungian practice linked in the pinned comment. Quiet happiness does not perform. After struggle, the soul stops performing happiness. No more forcing smiles, no more proving healing, no more demonstrating strength. Quiet happiness exists without witnesses. It does not need validation. It does not need applause. It does not need to be shared to feel real. This can feel disorienting in a world that rewards visible progress. When happiness becomes internal, there is less to show, but much more to feel. The soul learns that authenticity replaces performance, and authenticity is quiet. This kind of happiness doesn't spike or crash. It doesn't burn. It warms slowly. It appears in ordinary moments, breathing freely, resting without guilt, being alone without loneliness. If you've ever felt uneasy sharing your peace with others, it may be because this happiness belongs to you alone. And that's not selfish. That's wholeness. Later, I'll reveal why this quiet joy often feels smaller, but is actually far more stable than emotional highs. If you want to cultivate this inner steadiness gently, there's a soft Jungian practice linked below. No pressure, no performance. The nervous system heals before the story changes. One of the soul's deepest lessons after struggle is this: healing does not begin in thoughts. It begins in the nervous system. Long before beliefs shift, the body exhales. Before meaning changes, muscles release. Before clarity arrives, safety returns. This is why forcing positive thinking often fails. The body must feel safe before the mind can rest. Quiet happiness grows when vigilance ends, when the constant scanning for danger softens, when the nervous system learns that the present moment is not a threat. This is slow work, subtle work, but it is real. Many people abandon this stage because it lacks drama. Nothing happens, yet everything changes. If you've been trying to think your way into peace, perhaps the soul is asking for something different. Not answers, but regulation. Toward the end of this video, I'll explain how this bodily calm becomes the doorway to lasting inner joy. You'll also find a nervous system-friendly Jungian practice in the description and pinned comment. Happiness without intensity lasts. After struggle, the soul stops chasing intensity. No more emotional extremes, no more highs followed by crashes, no more addiction to feeling alive. Quiet happiness is not exciting, and that's its strength. It stays through ordinary days, through boredom, through silence. This happiness does not demand constant stimulation. It does not require new achievements to survive. The soul learns that what dazzles fades, but what endures becomes home. At first, this calm can feel dull to a psyche conditioned by drama, but over time something unexpected happens. Life becomes spacious. There is room to breathe, room to feel, room to simply exist. Near the end of this video, I'll share the final insight that ties all these lessons together. The secret of why quiet happiness endures when everything else fades. If you feel ready to step out of emotional extremes, you'll find a supportive Jungian practice linked below. Wholeness replaces the chase for happiness. The soul eventually realizes something radical. Happiness chased becomes conditional. Wholeness accepted becomes stable. Quiet happiness is not the absence of pain. It is the inclusion of all parts, light and shadow together. After struggle, the soul stops trying to eliminate darkness. Instead, it learns to contain it. From this containment, peace emerges naturally. Not because life is perfect, but because inner conflict has softened. This is not resignation. It is integration. Later, I'll explain why this shift from happiness to wholeness is the true turning point of inner transformation. If you're curious about practicing this gently, there's a Jungian-inspired guide waiting in the pinned comment. Stillness stops, feeling dangerous. For a long time, stillness feels threatening. Silence brings you face to face with yourself. But after struggle, the soul learns that stillness is not punishment. It is refuge. Busyness once protected you. Now it exhausts you. Quiet happiness grows when stillness becomes safe again. Nothing needs fixing. Nothing needs escaping. Just presence. This is where peace deepens. Near the end, I'll reveal why this stillness is the soil from which lasting joy grows. Support for this transition is linked below. Rest becomes possible, without guilt. True rest arrives only after the struggle ends. Not collapse, not numbness, but rest without justification. The soul learns it does not need to earn peace. This is one of the hardest lessons, and one of the most freeing. Quiet happiness grows when worth is no longer chased. I'll explain why this changes everything in the final insight of this video. Quiet joy emerges from inner coherence. Joy after struggle is subtle. It does not announce itself. It arrives quietly, like alignment. The soul recognizes itself again. This joy comes from coherence, when thoughts, body, and emotions no longer fight. And because it is rooted in wholeness, it lasts. One final insight remains. and it changes how you understand happiness forever. The secret of quiet happiness. Here is the secret the soul learns after struggle. Happiness does not respond to pursuit. It responds to inner alignment. When pressure dissolves. When presence replaces performance. When safety replaces striving. Quiet happiness finds you. If this video resonated, you'll find a gentle Jungian practice for cultivating this inner state, linked in the description and pinned comment. Small steps, profound changes. And if this journey speaks to you, stay with Soulful Wisdom Journey. There is more waiting beyond the struggle.